When we started Ditikeni in the first few years, we started with the surpluses that 22 NGOs had managed to carefully salt away over the years, and the total amount was 2.8 million. And now we were told, independently by our auditors, that Ditikeni is worth 100 million. This is a decade later. We never conceived that a vehicle that we would put together to create an endowment and security for NGOs who are mostly get all the income from donors and grants. We never thought that it could grow to this extent, this quickly. And we know that this figure is an independently derived figure and therefore is the actual worth of our company. So we started off because we wanted to create an endowment for our NGOs independently that they could use as they will for whatever they thought was strategic. And secondly, so that we could prove to the South African economy, to our shareholders and to the target groups and beneficiaries of our shareholders that we could do this in an ethical way. And we've succeeded in that. And now we want to tell the rest of the world that this is how it's done. Ditikeni shareholders are NGOs, and NGOs make up a bigger proportion of the economy than we realize. They generate jobs, they generate services, and they generate income in general for people as a whole. Ditikeni offers a way of making your capital that you invest in it work for the grassroots level of society. The NGOs that we have service targeted groups who are busy trying to formulate changes to the dire situations that they find themselves in, and they're doing it themselves. Our NGOs play a facilitation role in that regard, a skills development role, a publicity role. So your investment will go, any growth that is made out of it will go to those who are transforming society from the bottom up. We started Ditikeni because we wanted to make a bid as Ditikeni for Black empowerment preferential shares. That was the norm at the time in the late 90s. And we were trying to say to the investment partners that this is real Black empowerment, because through Ditikeni, which is a company set up by NGOs, where the individuals who are members of the board represent those NGOs, and all the income that is generated through Ditikeni goes directly to those NGOs, except for what is used for operational costs and investment costs. We can guarantee that that income will be used in the services of those NGOs to their grassroots communities and empower them, because the role of our NGOs is to empower communities to make the change that they feel themselves is necessary in their lives and in society as a whole. So we were trying to say, and we are still trying to say, to investors and to those who are active in the economy as a whole, this is broad-based empowerment. I can only speak on behalf of the board as a whole and of our shareholder NGOs. If you are going to invest and take part in business as it is, you have to make sure that the advice that you get is trustworthy to begin with and of the highest quality, integrity-wise and also business-wise. So we learned that trust and placing the role of the work in the hands of those who are experts at it is the best way to go about it. When you are in the business of doing business, it's good to scrutinize that from a values-based and an ethics-based at all time. Because we have an NGO shareholder grouping, they ask the kind of questions about how money is spent, where it's channeled to, what we invest in a way that is not really normal in South African corporate society. And so we've learned from that to narrow our investments down to those companies of really high integrity that our shareholders can be proud of. Now, we're very happy that the government has now taken on broad-based empowerment as an aim for investors. And we're also very happy that it includes small, micro and medium enterprise holders, and that it lays down some way of grassroots communities and organizations benefiting from it. But we feel that unless you begin to measure the real social impact, that empowerment, the level of empowerment is limited. It's there, but it's not sufficient. Our NGOs have as their primary responsibility to the donors and whatever income they get to measure their impact. We also know what our grassroots communities need and articulate as the real practical steps to change from their current conditions. Those are the real leaders of our society. They are the ones that institute the change. And the closest connection we have to them are the NGOs that go into these grassroots societies and facilitate and bring the resources that people need to act.